Hi, this is Miguel Spochnik, and I'm just going to talk you through some of the effects, the visual effects in this movie. And to help me is Eric Garcia, the writer, who's going to ask me questions so I know what to say. Ask me a question quickly, Eric.
Why is there so much green, Miguel?
Because we didn't have the ability to recreate an endless factory floor. So what we did is we built one unit only of 80 people, and then we surrounded it with a green curtain, which we then used as our backdrop to be able to replace with CGI characters our workers on the factory floor. Quite effectively, I might add.
Yes, that is fascinating.
Ask me a question.
Why is his robot arm spinning 360 degrees?
Because what we wanted to do is replace his arm entirely with something that was inconceivable to do with prosthetic. So we used a real prosthetic as rings on his shoulder and his wrist, painted the rest of his arm green, put little tracker things on it, and then later we replaced it with a artificial 3D animated Artiforg arm.
As we see here.
Yes. Particularly effective, I think, in this shot.
The whole bit being this guy was such a badass, he would want everyone to see his Artiforg.
Yes. He liked to wear it on his sleeve, so to speak.
I get that. That's funny. And now he's going to get a knife in it. And then he's going to get hit on the head.
Yes, which was not actually a visual effect.
He really gets hit on the head.
Yeah.
Well, you'll notice there's no green on his head.
Yes.
That's how we know.
He was especially hit on the head, and it was quite painful, I might add. Ow. Next, we have another question.
Oh, city.
There's no questions required here. We just need to remove the snow and put a huge city in the background, which was effectively done by our guys at Mr. X.
There's a lot of... Once we said there was this huge city, you kind of had to do that on a lot, didn't you?
Yeah. There was also the other side of the city, which is the metal graveyard, which is this particular area. And the idea was to create a subdivide between the rich and the poor, paradise, as it says on the top right-hand corner. And that had to be completely created.
But I noticed there was a green screen in part of it, but not the whole thing.
That's to give you a reference line as the camera comes to a halt, and we can pick off or key off our main characters as they walk towards the Kowloon city. That's a completely created shot that you just saw there. There's nothing really in that shot whatsoever. This again is a plate which is of the real Toronto, beautiful Toronto, and then added to, or augmented as we like to call it, in the cookery business. This was what we wanted, was a 1.5-minute long action car chase, and what we settled for is a single shot of two cars bumping into each other.
That's how the sausage is made, folks.
This is. Do you want to ask me a question, or would you?
Why was she putting her hand into a model of a torso?
Because what we found is when she tried to put her hand into Jude's real torso, it created quite a lot of tension between the actors. This was actually deftly done by Mr. X, which is that she played out the scene with that torso, that fake torso. Then she also played out the scene without actually doing it with the real Mr. Jude Law, and then the two were comped together. Her arm was used from one take, her body from another, his body from another, and then the area around the scar, around the wound, from yet another element.
That's movie magic.
Yeah.
I should point out, when you say Mr. X, you're not saying somebody's name. That's the name of the special effects company.
No, actually, you're wrong. It is Mr. X. He doesn't want to reveal himself. This was a great shot. This was quite a tall order for Mr. X, where they had to recreate an entire city from a very, very basic element, which is the very first element you just saw. All of this has been created to a high level of detail, and it really came out quite well. It's one of the opening shots of the city itself. So this is the plates with grades.
And what does that mean for those of us like me who have no idea what that means?
That means these are the shots themselves in situ without the CGI. So this is to give you a sense of exactly what wasn't there. So here's the sequence without CGI as opposed to with the CGI.
Got it.
Which some people will always say, this is the scene without.
That's it, just without. This is the scene without.
It's just without.
Look at them playing as if there's millions of people there.
Yeah. If you can see, there's often, Jude has 1,000-mile stare, which is him looking down the endless corridor. Off screen, he used to keep going, echo, echo, echo.
So there's the green curtain, but there's little dots on it, those tracking dots?
Yes. And the problem we had, which was quite impressive, that we managed to find a series of shots here where we had the green, is we kept forgetting to pull the green curtain around. And as a result, there was a lot more work for the CGI guys to do. Because nothing is ever perfect in this world of fantasy.
Words spoken at times like these are often words spoken too late.
Sad, isn't it? But the truth is it didn't have to happen. With the hemoglobin filter max 2, he could have beat cirrhosis. His wife would still have a husband, and his children would still have Daddy. The hemoglobin filter max 2. You owe it to your family. You owe it to yourself.
Can you open this? Ooh.
Jack soda. Get jacked.
Oh, yeah.
Jack soda.
Oh.
Get jacked.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah. I'll take it.
Come buy a mattress from me, where your satisfaction is guaranteed. I'll be right with you, ma'am.
Don't just stay dry. Stay super dry. With super dry deodorant.
2 years ago, life was great. I had a great job, beautiful wife, 2 great kids. That's when it happened. A heart attack. Total cardiac arrest.
I was just driving to work. A day like any other day. Then a truck runs right through a red light and plows into me. It left me with 2 punctured kidneys and no chance of recovery.
Mommy was hurt real bad.
Cancer of the stomach usually means certain death. When I was diagnosed, I tried everything I could. Chemo, alternative medicine, experimental drugs, you know, hippie stuff.
I was faced with dying right there in the hospital.
Fortunately, the union stepped in just in the nick of time.
They gave me a new heart.
They gave him back his life.
With these 2 new kidneys, I haven't missed a step. Thanks to the union.
I'm still here to push Sarah on the swing.
We're all still here.
We're all still here.
Thanks to the union.
I do. I do. I do.
I do. Guys, experience the true joy of a woman from a different culture with I Do. Just log on, select the country of origin you prefer, and we'll send you your wife-to-be.
I do. Whatever you wanting.
I do.